It's Halloween.
Halloween.
It is?
Halloween. Well, when this
Oh.
episode comes out, it's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Halloween. Halloween. Halloween. We don't do.
No,
Are we gonna keep that
Halloween.
up on this podcast?
Keep what up?
What's that?
We just start chanting Halloween
We did that?
Is that
every episode. Yeah, we did.
Well, we did that on the last one, not this one.
Okay. New
I mean, do
times,
you
I
want-
guess.
I'm happy to
Do
chant.
you want to?
You guys want? Yeah, go for it.
Well,
man.
now it seems forced, and I don't want to.
Well, I don't know what you. I don't know what you want, man. Like, you want to do it? That's cool. Like,
That was natural, but like, if I go, well,
Natural.
let's all just start chanting Halloween, and like,
yeah. What's wrong with that?
You've gone from like an organic
I don't
bar to a camp counselor. I get
yeah,
it.
to like, well, I guess we gotta do this stupid fucking thing. Like,
Well, when the moment presents
Hmm.
itself with Halloween,
So that's what I got out of Halloween.
right. Oh man, hang on. You two talk for like a second.
alrighty.
Watch Chris cough.
God, I hope
Just-
that didn't hang on my.
It didn't. Don't worry.
No, there's no way we can hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still coming. Still got like a bunch of mucus, so.
No worries, man.
In time, in time for the podcast.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Okay, just fucking. So we're gonna be talking about Faith, chapter.
Yay! Sorry, I mean. Yes.
Yay! Let me get the little notebook out. Let me go into it. So me and Ian did play chapter 3. Well, Ian played chapter 3 a while ago, right?
A minute ago. Yeah, I was pumped to get into it. Yeah.
Did you fresh up like before this, or?
I rewatched some of the endings, and then
Yeah.
I jumped around some Let's Plays,
Got it.
but I didn't watch like a whole thing. I think it's been a year. I think 3 came out last
Yeah,
October.
3 came
right?
out last year. Yeah, I believe. Well, you
Yeah.
know what? That's a good time to pull up the fact check. Chapter 3 came out October 21st, 2022.
Sure did.
Oh, I may have actually played it on its anniversary. It's kind of crazy.
Oh wow.
Chapter 1 came out in 2017, October 4th.
Mhm.
Chapter 2, 2019. So 2 years apart. Nice steady clip.
Yeah, I agree. And each game gets progressively more complex, longer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, something we'll talk about
Yeah.
once we get there. This is a New Blood game. Well, published by New Blood, developed by Airdorf of
Yep.
Airdorf Games. Real cool guy to follow on Twitter as well. Has great taste in horror films.
Agreed.
And lives in I think he lives in Texas or something.
Oh, okay.
Or he's from Texas. I don't know if he lives there, but he's from Texas, which I think he talked about where he drew a lot of the inspiration from.
It comes through. You
Yeah.
see,
Especially in 3.
yeah. 3.
Yeah. So it's the basic info. Not much of a cold open, really, for that. But Nick did the crazy thing though, did the marathon mode, which comes in the Unholy Trinity,
Mhm.
which is the version of the game they made once all the chapters were done.
Okay.
So like before it was you could buy chapter 1 then chapter 2. But then when
Yeah.
3 came out, I think you had to just buy it as one package.
Yeah,
I
That's
believe.
that's right.
Which I didn't mind doing because I think he's doing great. I forgot what the price tag was at the time. Oh, it's on sale right now. I'll remember to say it at the end.
Okay.
On Steam on your PC.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's playable on Mac, but you for anyone listening, as part of the Halloween sale. So when this episode comes out, it'll be $10.49 for all 3 games.
Ooh, nice.
Great value, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, how long did it take you to beat all 3 games?
All three probably came out to no less than 5 hours. So like
Damn.
for
Or in a
That
bit.
first one's really short. I always forget how short the first one is.
yeah, the for one overall, if you because the marathon mode is like you would just get one ending and you just go to the next game.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Well, are we gonna get into the alternate endings and that kind of thing in our
Oh, we
reading?
have to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
they're really important in the previous games.
Yes. I
yeah,
agree.
especially in 3.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I just said especially in the last one.
Yeah. No, it definitely is.
and we can get even deeper into it, but as I understand, what I had read was that the version that is considered the truest ending of 3 is the one that sets up John to do other stuff like this later, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to talk about with that. Though
Okay.
we are just gonna keep it at the third game.
Okay.
In spirit of like how we covered the previous two in the last podcast,
Okay.
because we were big fans of these games.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll just keep it to this. Although Nick will be a really great asset in the
Yeah.
in the sense that he's gonna remember the first two games way better than I will.
Better than me, I'm sure, as
Yeah.
well.
All right, so Rising Action.
Mhm.
So what's everything we knew about the game kind of going in? We kind of touched upon that we've all played the other two.
Yes.
Did you guys know anything about Chapter 3 before playing Chapter 3?
Um.
No, not really.
Well, I think for you and I, we got a preview of it right at the end of 2.
We played that preview
Yeah,
on stream, which was the hotel level.
which is so fun. It's such.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
It's
really good.
really good level. Especially when you get into it in Chapter 3, like you can tell so much time went into just that section. Which time went into a lot of the other sections, which I thought were really cool, but yeah, a lot went into that second one.
The potential for scary situations in that setting were, I think, really rich.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I mean, so not much other than I knew that I was coming in for something that was a big scale. That was basically the promise we were given. It's, hey, if you like, get more of it. Basically, in the next one. That's, I think, all I knew.
Yeah, I think that's all I knew as well. I don't know if it was after the game, the third one came out. Well, sorry. I still count it as I knew before playing, because I did, which is how they did the cutscenes
Mm-hmm.
for the Fate series, which it
Mhm.
is just Erdorf rotoscoping himself and I think sometimes his wife or a friend of his
Okay. Okay.
for the scenes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which gives him that just really good uncanny feeling, especially on black.
The way
Pixels.
the motion is tracked on it, because I when I was rewatching some of that rotoscope stuff, like,
Yeah.
for example, when he's doing John, like, I'm sure all the
Mhm.
there's two that really got to me, but it's there's one where John gets possessed at the very top of 3,
Yeah.
um, and like that kind of like wild jerking motion was so well done.
Yeah.
But also worth mentioning is
I think that's
when
the video he sent out of recording of him.
oh really?
Yeah, it was that one, I believe. I'll have to double check and look up that video.
Ooh,
Oh,
I'd love
sorry to
to.
interrupt. Go ahead.
The other one that I wonder if you'd notice, like, 'cause you do get good subtlety as well, but it's in this kind of obsolete, in this janky form. So
Mm.
after John has exorcised one of the demons, we get a rotoscope of him like covered in blood and trembling, but it's really good subtle movement. You get a lot of expression that does come through it. It's like really impressive. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Yeah, because it's so jerky and like rough too on the like things are constantly moving on screen
Yeah.
and just suddenly appearing in the game like with no warning.
Yes.
Such
Yeah.
good horror. Yeah. I think that's everything I knew going in before. Yeah, played all the things.
Yeah.
Knew that video. He has good taste in horror. I think
Mhm.
his Twitter feed was like the thing that led me on to Cowabunga YouTube channel, which I feel like I've discussed on Storyteller Cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Which is a great, fantastic channel. If y'all don't know it, it's delves into Japanese horror and like specifically urban legends and internet horror in Japan.
Mhm.
And she does great stuff. Great stuff. Very educational in that sense if you're a horror person.
If you want to like broaden out your horror tastes a little bit,
Yeah,
definitely something worth checking out. Yeah.
absolutely. And so Nick, you kind of went in cold to chapter 3.
Yeah, overall, I never got to play the preview, and by the time the third chapter came out, like I think I barely finished 2. Um, I was kind of just put on the back burner, so because of the gap between 1 and 2, finishing them, yeah, I ended up deciding to play all 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, right on.
Nice.
So,
The
oh, go ahead.
no, I say like yeah, the only thing were like the clips of him of the reference videos,
Yeah,
which I think were fantastic.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
really fucking cool. All right, climax.
Yes.
Gross. Yeah. So, what do y'all think of chapter 3? Like, so you go in, right? You start the game,
Yeah.
you play it,
Yeah.
and then it ends,
It sure does.
and then you get to go on with your
Yeah.
no, it was God, I feel like
Well,
my brain's so fucking foggy right now.
well, let's jump into like the 2 big endings. There's several endings,
Oh, you
but
just want to jump to the end? Let's do it.
or I mean, I feel like those are 2 places that are a good place to get into the meat of. Well, what were you thinking of? Like climax to me is like the big fight, like the boss fight.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the structure of the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
I know it's episode 2, but we do have to. The
Fair.
whole goal was to maintain
Wow, Ian,
structure.
Okay.
professional over here.
Climax in the podcast, if you remember,
Even I
Ian,
knew.
is a discussion of the media.
All right.
that
Yeah,
we
it's hard.
decided.
And then
Mhm.
we worked backward. Anyway,
We
Anyway.
just did Rising Action,
I just
which
did.
is
Yeah.
everything we knew about the piece going in.
Okay.
yeah, Ian.
Okay.
And then there was the intro, which is
And
just
then
the cold open and whatever
Yeah.
opening music played at the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So, when we talk about the media, we're talk about the whole thing.
Okay.
He's waking up from nightmares. You go in and you're
Mhm.
it's a flashback of the first game.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not quite. It's a flashback
Yeah.
of the actual night
Yeah.
of Amy's
rolling down.
exorcist,
Yeah.
which in the first game you go to fix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking September 21st, 1987.
Mhm.
That's where the first exorcism is happening in that
Oh,
game.
well, I'm so glad you have the date. Yeah, because they list the dates and I should have done that. Yes. And it's a great sequence. You find out he had a mentor. I don't know if it was mentioned before. Or no. Sorry, you get the names on the notes.
Yeah.
Right in the game, and it's from that guy. Which becomes weirder because, by the way, full spoilers. I guess I feel like we don't have to do that every time, but
Yeah.
you find out that his mentor died that night. So
Yeah.
who's sending the fucking notes type thing?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shout out to Gary.
Oh, Gary.
It's Gary,
Uh,
probably.
Gary probably. Yeah. So and you get a very like slow rolling start of just meeting the parents. You don't get to explore much in the flashback because it is a flashback.
Yeah.
And then you get to Amy, and then I think that's when he wakes up, right? Or something.
And then we come down the hallway with a crucifix-covered doorway. Is that?
Yeah, he wakes up, he goes downstairs, and then there's a crucifix covered, like multiple crucifix covered
Yes.
Yeah.
doorways, like not just a single, like one.
Mhm.
And just the line of "I'm not going in there," and that Coleco
Oh,
Coleco like voice thing.
that voice modulate, that like whatever they is chilling every single time I
Oh,
hear it.
it's ColecoVision.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's just the old computer. So ColecoVision computers. This is for fucking game nerds. Um, ColecoVision computers were some of like early computers you can play those kinds of games on, which is what Faith is inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Mm-hmm.
style, that kind of weird 16, not quite 16-bit. I don't even know what you would call it.
Yeah.
Now that pixel art adventure game where the characters look like that, you're kind of moving around in images. And it has a text to speech uh capability, which at the time blew your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it sounds creepy as fuck when
Yeah.
it comes out. I don't even think he modulates it to match the characters, but like that is what Coleco computers sounded like.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's largely we're listening to John speak. Occasionally, we get other characters that
Yeah.
come in, and definitely tonalities, but
Mm.
the like vision kind of the big thing is its flatness.
Yes, it's
It,
monotone.
yeah, yeah,
Um, each one's a different, like each character is a different tone, but they're all monotone.
yeah, yeah.
There's no, and when inflections do happen, it's like a really weird big deal.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what those are inspired by. And yeah, it comes downstairs and there's notes on the front door by like I mentioned, we don't find out till later his mentor who passed away during that
Yeah.
encounter. Yeah, saying that there's these two twins who he has to save. Or
Yeah.
they're looking for these two twins, and there's an orphanage that,
Yeah.
or not an orphanage, a hospital. Hospital's the first one
Mhm.
that they
Hmm.
might be at.
Yeah.
And you go to that city, and it's cool because you've never been into a city before in those series.
Yeah.
It's 3 screens, which by the way I wrote. It has some cool graffiti in the back,
Oh, nice.
which I wrote down
Hmm.
some of the references that I recognize. I probably missed a bunch. There's a graffiti that says Kawabana, which is that YouTube channel I mentioned earlier.
Oh, sweet.
There's 3 faces. I recognize 2 of them. I didn't recognize the third one. One is WD Gaster from Undertale, I believe, and
Cool.
the face from Yumi Nikki. I forget the character's name, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which Yumi Nikki is a fantastic game, and so is Undertale. But
Mm-hmm.
that one just says Ragnar, and I thought it was Ragnar the Blood Edge, but I'm probably wrong. I wrote question marks around that shit. One of them's a sigil, and I was wondering if it's a
Yeah.
Fear and Hunger reference or if the sigils used in other things and I just didn't know about it, but I couldn't find any like original source. So
Mm.
I just wrote Fear and Hunger reference, and then one just says "in the balls" in like all caps.
Sick.
I was like,
Sick.
hell yeah, hell
That's
yeah,
scary. I don't like that.
it's scary.
That,
What did you all think before we get into the hospital? What did you all think about the downtown area?
And
uh, it was a really cool development. Like
yeah.
I think the downtown area was, like we had said a little bit earlier. It was Airdorf following through with the promise of it's going to be bigger, it's going to be more.
It is, yeah.
And the scale, you do feel the scale of it, but at the same time, I mean,
It is 3
everything.
screens. Yeah,
It is exactly. It's kind of that thing of everything through this purview is through the. You have to think of it as a game that you pulled from an alternate version of the 80s. Like, so I think I try and think about it within those specifications, and like 3 screens. What are we, millionaires? Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I liked it. What about you having got to play it back to back to back? What was that transition?
I think like there's definitely something kind of unique about the trilogy of going through it, and then now you get this sense of like it, because the first game it felt like such an isolated like incident, but then slowly you see just everything getting more and more into the point of now you have this entire cult sacrificing people to for our homie Gary. And then like so for the town, kind of like what you said, the scaling of it was great. Just all these little things coming together in that point where, man, it's just so cool.
What do you think about that? I'm thinking about like the scale of the game also kind of matches the narrative scale of the game, in that we go from the peril being one girl's life to, oh, there's a lot more people potentially involved in this, to, oh no, it's gonna probably end the world if they do the profane Sabbath.
Hello?
Like,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear you.
Sorry, my microphone disconnected.
Oh no.
You guys are good. Keep going.
I think that's an interesting way of it. It narratively makes sense, but also in the shape of a video game, it's like, well, we want something bigger, more challenging, more visually stimulating, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, I think strongly.
Yeah, but I also think as an artist too, you kind of want that if you're doing like sequels, right?
Yeah.
You kind of want bigger things, especially as you're getting better and better at making the iteration of what you're creating, right?
True.
I don't know. It feels natural, like the size, but it is like a big leap. And it's really cool. Like it's weird because I beat it in, I think it took me 4 hours to beat chapter 3. But I play games very slow because I like looking and trying to find everything. Which even then I still miss the first secret boss on the first attempt, which is wild. But in fairness, I looked up what to do in order to get that secret boss, and that's bullshit. So
tell the people, what do you have to do to get it?
Okay, so the first one, there's, once we get into the hospital, I'll explain what you do for the first boss because it'll make more sense in the context because it's all in the hospital.
Okay.
But I did get the other 2 secret bosses.
Nice.
So it's kind of cool because it gives you a sense of where the world's at, right? Outside of it. By the way, did you guys look at the houses when you exit your house?
Only at the ending. Only with the bad endings.
Really? Oh, okay. You can. Okay, so it changed. So when you step out of your house, there's 2 other screens you can go to. One to the left and one to the right. And if you go in front of the windows of the houses, you can see what the families are looking at on TV. The first one, I don't even know. I think it was a cartoon or something. And it's the one on the left's a family watching TV. The one on the right is just some kid playing with like a ball or something. Watching TV, and they change every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, you kind of get to see that. Yeah, he lives in kind of a, I guess, a nicer neighborhood because, like, it's family. It's rural, suburban, and you get into downtown 80s down or metal concerts. Fucking, oh my god, I forgot to write the name of the metal show. Where it's just, oh my god, it was like 8 bands or something. And my thing was, I looked at how long the show was. I was like, it's only like a 4-hour show. How are they gonna do? I guess each band's 30 minutes. They're not gonna all play. It takes forever to switch between bands. So why would you?
They're all gonna want to set up their own equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. um, you can. So that was really cool. Did you guys get the pigeon scare?
I did, yeah. That one
You
I
got
got.
it.
Yes, I did.
That was really good. That got
Ian,
me
you
pretty.
got it.
That was really good. Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that thing. I love that scare. The way it's set up. What a good thing that only works in a video game, right? Like,
Yeah.
And that's what you kind of are hoping for. What I'm hoping
yeah,
for is let's take advantage of the medium. Do something you can't
Yeah.
give me. You can't give me an. I again like to jump back to that earlier part of because the apartment complex is a clear part of the playthrough that I definitely remember you, but
Yeah.
like in that scene when you come up the stairs from the basement after you get the power back on,
yeah,
you're just like set upon by a demon. Like you after the fact learn like there's nothing you could have done otherwise
No.
that's going to happen.
yeah,
But it fucking works. It gets you so effectively.
because it's like that only for. Well, we'll jump to that, but that whole sequence is you being like really tense for a long time
Yes.
and thinking you're safe, right?
Yes.
So the pigeon scare, the way it works is for those who, yeah, I'm not gonna kind of like conditionalize this. The pigeon scare is you pass by an alley and there's a weird, you can't even fucking tell what it is, like because of the pixels.
Right.
It's blue and like lighter blue. Um, and then you walk up to it and it's a picture of, I think it's a pigeon. I could be wrong, but it looks like a dead pigeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just jumps on your screen. It's big. And the picture goes away whenever you walk away from it, or it comes back when you do. So you walk away from it, and then you walk out of the alley, and then the little blue pixel moves just a bit,
Yeah.
but enough to entice you in a video game to go like, oh, so there was like something changed. There was a state change,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to it, and picture pops up again. Nothing. It's
Yep.
the same picture of the dead pigeon. It was probably just like a death throw or something, or like muscles reflexing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get out, and it's just another red, just completely red pixel guy
Mm-hmm.
on there, and just screams in the ColecoVision. Oh my god, I wrote it down because you can get the scare repeatedly,
Oh, okay.
or I don't know if it's repeatedly. I think I did it twice because I died at some point. Oh, I tested if I can get hit by a truck, and you can, and then
Okay. Okay.
you just die. He yells, "I had no choice," which is a little goofy, if we're being
Yeah.
real, but it gets you. Like it just runs off screen.
Those shrieking red cultists,
Yeah,
oh, they,
but
they,
it
they
does give you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they certainly add tension to the fights that they appear in later on
Mm-hmm.
as well. Go
Yeah,
go.
and as you figure out later that the red pixel dudes are always cultists,
Mm-hmm.
um, you realize like, yeah, there's cultists already running amok in the city, and they're kind of ruining things. Right?
Yes.
They're murdering animals in public, let alone when you find out what they do in private.
They are. I mean, some of the stuff they got set up in the hospital, some of the stuff they got up all over town. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah. So I think that's all you can do in the outside before you go into the hospital, which you kind of go in through the sideway, and it's broken down, abandoned hospital. Everything's boarded up. You can't go through the front door. You have to go through a window,
Mm-hmm.
through a side alley. Which is weird that like the two orphans would be here because this place has looked like it's long been abandoned.
Yeah. Well, you know how orphans love playing in abandoned spaces. They
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't even know. Do they say they're orphans? They just say the two kids, right? The twins.
Yeah. Well,
There's
They
no
call them
parent.
orphans.
and two, you visit the grave of the parents.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, Nick, thank you for playing all three before.
Yeah, it is
Before
subtle because like you could miss it, like the grave.
which makes
But
it even weirder. Like, who the
yeah,
fuck's taking care? Where are these kids fucking staying?
it even says like such the parents are lived by by Amy
Uh,
and
by the name of
Michael.
the kids,
Yeah,
which I
Okay.
forget the names too, but
Michael,
yeah, they're all
Amy.
Bible names in this game.
Yeah, there's three. And there's one more. I'm going,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Hey, is
Amy and
Gary a
Michael.
Bible name?
I believe not.
I believe so. I believe it's the only non-Bible name in the thing, right?
Yeah,
Because is it
Yeah.
Amy's a Bible name, biblical name?
And like Father Garcia, you could argue is a derivative. Like Garcia's could be a derivative of a biblical name in a way. Yeah,
So
I get into.
saints and stuff. Gary, biblical name.
Gary
Isn't that
Miller.
a funny? Wouldn't that be a funny?
Well, it made me think about Twin Peaks, but maybe I'm just a dweeb. But like
Oh,
the idea that the most evil person is just
Gary's
Bob.
Hebrew. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh wow. Oh no, just to say, like, imagining what's the name of the most evil character in our story? Oh, Don or Rob or Gary or something
Yeah.
boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary name meaning. This is from Names Folder. That's not. It's probably not a viable source, but this is just what I'm gonna say out. It's a Hebrew name.
Oh,
Means a spear or mighty with the spear.
okay.
So one
Well,
could
that
argue he's a spear for the demon Malthus, but
yes.
or his mom. But
That's
whatever.
just a theory.
Just a theory. Okay, Amy, biblical name.
Amy Martin, her parents Bob and Cindy.
Yeah, that I remember Bob and Cindy.
Yeah,
Just don't do anything like not my daughter. Amy just means beloved in French. Oh, maybe that's the only.
well, you
What's
had
It's a spelling of Ami or AMI,
mhm.
which means my people in Hebrew.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
I
yeah.
definitely the person who made this game went to seminary or like took like was around like Catholicism a good bit.
Oh no, he
Wouldn't
said he grew up in Catholic Texas.
checks out. Checks out.
Or Christian, whatever.
Yeah.
Grew up in a religious household. That's
Yeah.
either Christian or Catholic. Probably
Right.
Catholic for all the knowledge.
Yeah.
Unless he said official elsewhere. Anyway, you go into the hospital. It's very spooky.
Yes.
Very spooky. Band and gurneys. Classic horror setup. So you got to go find a crowbar, and you think that little alley you go into to get the crowbar, the way the screen is set up, because you have to go so far and around to something, you think that's going to be the scare. It's not until you pass that door inside that has the boards. Which I was
Yeah.
going to ask, are you able to make it to the front of the hospital with the
I
crowbar?
I didn't. I
Yeah, I
couldn't.
didn't make it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I want to check. I want to see if you could. But yeah, and then a fucking demon pops out and captures. I love
And you
that
get
it's not a person, right?
right.
That's a crazy demon that's just been living there.
And it's like, we're gonna strap you to this gurney
Yeah,
to do evil. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
evil things. It's like blah, 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 blah. And then and then the Coleco, the sound starts screaming at you because it's a very loud game.
Yeah.
And I think you go into your second flashback, which
Yeah.
is beginning. Is it when The Exorcist starts?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in that room. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you have to go take the parents out, I believe.
You have to remove them because it's too much.
It's
Too
too
much for them.
much. And that's where you get the line, "That's not my daughter."
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, you already find out they tied Amy up, like themselves in the basement.
Yeah, because that was like an early on plot point they established that like
Yeah.
there was serious doubt around the the efficability of the exorcism,
Mhm.
because they had to get someone who wasn't ordained to do
Yeah.
it, right? Yeah,
No. I think because not Gary. Dave, right?
hmm
Uh, I don't think Dave's ordained technically, or no, it was his first day. I think.
Oh, is that okay?
I think he is a priest, but it was his first. It's definitely his first time
Doing
Yeah.
this.
doing this. Yeah, the other guy seemed very experienced.
Oh yeah, Garcia is like living that life of
Yeah.
You
fight
mean
of
John or?
No,
uh
John. John's the Garcia. You don't meet till later.
oh okay. Okay, yes,
Wait,
yes,
wait.
yes.
Sorry, Nick. You go ahead. You know the names better.
Well, John's the main character, the blue guy.
Okay, John's the main character. Who's your mentor in the first? In the
Oh
first
yeah,
Exorcist.
it's um, in the first Exorcist that was was it Garcia? I'm trying to.
God damn it!
Let
I
me
wish there was a list. I wonder if there's a wiki.
Sorry, I will tell you, like it's very dense. Like so much
all
happened. I'm still trying
all
to.
it was Father Allred in the first one.
Father Allred.
Alright.
There you go.
All right. Okay.
Gotcha. Our bad. We should have had these ready. Um.
It's okay.
Yeah, Father Allred's doing the Exorcist, and John's kind of looking.
And this is getting wild, guys. Are
Yeah,
you
shit's
sure?
popping off.
Yeah.
They can hear it from upstairs, from the stink ass chamber, uh,
Pod-
chambered, fucking basement.
yeah. Yeah. I, well, it is interesting, like in retrospect, I guess, like it has horror movie logic,
Yeah.
but like the house they're in has like 20 full body mannequins in the basement,
Yes.
which is like wild. But
Wow.
it makes sense in a horror story.
Yeah.
That's where, yeah, the mom makes dresses and she needed 20 full size mannequins to
That's right. Big
Right.
client.
exactly.
Busy lady.
It makes sense. And yeah, then I think once you come down, right? That's when he wakes up on the gurney
Yeah.
and you're tied up. And then he says in that Coleco Vision, I feel like I'm saying that wrong, Coleco Vision. Coleco computer uh voice that something he's gotta hide. Which I totally fucked up. I didn't or no, I did hide behind the thing and I don't know if it bugged out because the creature when it walked into the room, once it walked past that curtain that I was hiding behind, totally off screen by the way, it walked through the curtain and got me.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I thought I fucked up the first time, but maybe it was a bug or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, Coleco computers, voice assisted. There you go. Yeah. But then you're supposed to hide behind a gurney. By the way, did you guys see the Lost reference on the curtain?
What was the Lost reference that they?
Not
No, I don't.
Lost, Loss. LOSS.
Oh,
The comic.
no. Oh, okay.
No, the lines.
What
I
was the?
never seen it.
I didn't see it, but Nick, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where you could just draw the lines for the 4-panel comic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's in blood on the curtain on the left side.
Oh
wait.
my god. That's what that was?
Yeah,
You're not
that's what
talking
it was.
Wait.
terrible.
No. Ain't no way. Hang
Yeah,
on.
dude. Yeah, go play a
Oh
game.
my god. Oh
I'm
my
Googling it
fucking
right
hell. I just realized. God damn it. What a spooky game.
What a spooky reference.
A penny arcade reference. They'll never live that down. Like it doesn't matter what else they
thing's
make.
forever. And Erdorf's been on the internet too much, apparently. So like,
Not enough, apparently.
oh, that's like surface level stuff, right? Like, wait, does Ian know the Lost comic?
I'm
Oh,
familiar.
there you go. A fucking lemon party reference. Then we can start talking like cool.
I literally just pulled up the screenshot of
Lemon
the.
party? Oh.
No, of the hospital. No, the Lost comic being like a terribly formatted um instance of someone trying to do something dramatic, and it
Yeah,
just not play. I'm familiar. That was from Penny Arcade.
Penny Arcade. Yeah,
The
that's
fart joke
um,
thing. Oh my god.
yeah. What's Control Alt Delete is the name of the
Yeah,
comic? Yeah,
really.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. You know, but I think he said that's like how he always intended for the comic to end or something.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's how he wanted the last comic to. He wanted to stop there.
So crazy. It's so But you're looking at a screenshot of it. Yeah, it's on the curtains.
I see it. That's quite crazy. That's
Also,
crazy.
my brain's broken because I saw it right away. So, uh, but okay, creature leaves. You got to go find your cross, your
Yeah.
to get it going, and then you got to hide in the hallway again amongst the other gurneys.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's written in blood on the left, bottom left of that screen. It says "Join us." That's your hint for how to fight the secret boss in that game.
Go on. What's the hint of join us?
So I'll once we get to the end of the hospital sequence, I'll tell you.
Okay.
And then I forget how you get out of the. Oh, the cop comes out of the door, right? Who was in front of the hospital chasing off the. Just keeping the land of the area, whatever.
Yeah.
The cop helps you out. Goes bang bang, shoots the.
Yep.
Uh, frees you from the gurney.
Yep.
You get your cross. You get that
Yep.
cool power up noise. I
Yeah.
love that power up, by the way. The blinding light on your character.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You go out to the main area of the hospital, and uh, it's cultists, right? Who start breaking in through the windows.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and then you gotta break the boards down outside while the cop shoots the
Yep.
cultist dead.
Damn.
They break in. Okay,
And
so once. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, thus introducing us to a boss mechanic wherein
Yeah, that
you
shows up later.
will do that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But which is video games. But anyway, so you can just leave, and I assume you guys did too.
I believe I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did. I totally missed it. The join us hint. He has that thing of like, I think I should go back or whatever.
Yeah.
That line, or there's something missing.
Mhm.
You go back down, and you have to get back on the gurney you were freed from,
Oh.
and you have to like. God, I forget what you have to go back and like get near the trigger something in the screen transition or whatever
Mhm.
that uh the monster knocks you out again.
Oh. Okay.
And then there's a whole sequence. I forget what the scene is. But you wake up and you're falling down a flight of stairs on the gurney in a very funny ColecoVision thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Your other hint is it's not really a hint, but you find photos of babies, like of sonograms,
Mhm.
Okay.
and the baby's becoming more deformed.
Oh, as a reference to the mother and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. One second.
All those babies went to purgatory.
they were unbaptized and they will always live with.
And that's
Not,
and that was on them, you know.
yeah. Really should have stepped
They
their
should have thought that through.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh man.
Okay. Don't tell
Oh my
Chris.
god, sorry about that. Um
No.
so when you get to the final boss, when you get to the secret boss fight
Mhm.
on in that level, it's with the brood. The the woman who gave birth to all those babies.
Oh, jeez.
and you fight the babies.
Wait, was this fight anything like in Phase 2 when you have to fight the cloud fetus that attacks you in the cemetery? Do you remember this?
Oh my
Fight?
god, no, it's not like that. But I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, but there is babies. There's the mom, the brood, and you gotta, just your cross power,
Okay.
sir, whole day as babies like come out of the vents and windows,
Jesus.
and they won't kill you outright if the babies touch you, but they slow you down a lot.
Okay.
And if you get covered, I think you die. So you have to
Okay.
use the cross to get them off.
Okay.
Until the second phase of that fight is the mom covering herself in the babies, the deformed Satan babies,
Uh-huh.
and the babies like in a very horrific if you think about what that would actually look like. Um, extend their like arms and legs so they walk at your height, but they still have small baby bodies,
Oh no.
and
Oh,
laugh as they rush you down.
hate it. Hate it.
Then you got to get the armor off the mom. Um, and once you do that, you've killed the secret boss in that area. But yeah. Oh man, sorry. Uh, yeah, it's a crazy boss fight. I totally missed.
Yeah. Because there's like a total of 3, I believe.
3 secret boss fights.
Bosses, yeah.
I like the
And
second one a lot. I think
it's
the
pretty
most.
sick.
The
Like
first
visually.
one's cool. The second one's great. The third one's a little bit of a disappointment, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I get why 3's kind of like that though.
Yeah,
It
it's
is just like,
different.
yeah.
Where's the secret?
Sorry,
The
go ahead.
apartment. Where's the secret boss in the apartment?
I'll get to that because it's my favorite way to get that. It's fucking rad.
Yeah.
All right.
It's so cool. Can't
Okay.
fucking wait to talk about it. Okay, so you kill them all, and then you go home. You go home.
Yeah. Yes.
You wake up. You have the other flashback nightmare. With Amy. Right, I think the Exorcist is going on at that point. That's the one where I think you go back and find Father Allred dead.
Yeah.
Right, and it just written in blood says stop her or kill her.
Yeah.
Is that the one where it ends and it ends at like in the fucking attic? Once you get to the attic, then it ends. Okay, so you explore the house.
That one.
Which it's cool because now something evil is in the house, so there's little things kind of hiding in the shadows that are grayed out. And your screen will black and cut out and kind of come back, and like there they are. And so you finally reach Amy, and then you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you find out you got to go to apartment complex from these notes. Once you wake up, go to your house, find out your thing. By the way, if you go to the houses outside before getting into your car and see what they're watching wrestling.
Oh.
Oh, dude, we totally forgot to mention, everything starts with like a Majora's Mask, like 3 days into the profane Sabbath.
Yes. Yes.
Type deal. And looking at time, let me try to rush this a little bit. Okay.
No worries.
So apartment sequence, we all really love.
Yes.
You have to figure out where this scared woman, who believes her neighbors are all out against her, which you find out they are. But it's not an uncommon story, right? Of women asking a preacher like, they're all against me, you have to help me out.
Sure.
It turns out they're just lonely.
Sure.
And then, or they're, going through some shit and they're mentally breaking down.
Yes.
But no, she's right.
Yeah.
In this, it's a cool puzzle sequence. I'm not gonna go into all the details, but
we can talk about the ideas of I think the standout scene is the blackout scene. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Which you get to once you start solving the puzzle.
Yeah.
Figuring out something's up with all these people living here. The landlord's fucking insane,
Yeah.
or is obviously a satanic cultist.
Well, there's the one of the most tense scenes I think when I was playing that segment was when you get to the surveillance section, like you're supposed to be looking at these videos
Oh yeah,
of thing, and you're like, I'm ready for this to be really bad and upsetting.
yeah,
But it's actually just what is it? A slot that says deposit crucifix.
yeah. It's for people to give their sacrifices to the landlord slash maintenance guy.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like supposed to be symbolic, but it's a dumbwaiter from the roof from floor 10 to the basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
You send your cross down, so you have to go the entire level without any weapon, any sense of protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the
It.
lights go out once you get to the.
Yeah.
So you have to traverse the entire apartment in the dark.
And the only moments you get of light are either there's some candles near where rituals have happened.
Yeah, not very many. No, I think most of them are out. If
Oh,
not
are they?
all of them. Yeah, you only have your camera,
Yeah.
which is an old school Polaroid flash camera, so you have to wait for the light bulb.
The sound effect of the camera is so good because
Yeah, it's perfect.
it's the click is not only right, but it reproduces the sound that the flash makes, which is like a high pitched whining sound.
Line that kind of fades off and tapers off.
It's so good. I love it, man.
Yeah, it builds so much tension. And for most of it, nothing happens. You're just doing it. There is a hallway where you're on the like seventh floor, or not seventh floor. You're in one
Six?
of the, yeah, you're in one of these hallways connecting the two satanic rooms,
Yeah.
which have fucking craters built into them.
Yep.
And you just can't flash like right in the middle with all the cultists at the ritual table.
Yeah.
So you have to do. You get all the way to the. It's not until you get to the basement. By the way, if you go to the basement early, you just die. I don't know if you guys did that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't try that. No.
That sound effect comes on with the monster, and you can't like really escape. And once it ends, your character just. Oh no, the hand animation happens, and then the character just dies.
Guys, that one's sick. That one's actually really dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not until you get to the basement where you get the introduction of the monster, right? The hand covered monster.
Yeah.
Which is from the demo. Fuck, it's cool.
And the trailer, the first trailer.
First trailer of it, right? Which good one, because like it is a really cool sequence.
Yeah.
You just gotta run away with only the flash of the camera.
Yeah.
And once you get into that room with all the candles, that's when you get your cross back, right? And can fight it.
Yeah, then you have to track where it is because it goes invisible. So it's only visible through the flame or something like that.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
And then kill it, and that's your boss fight for that. Yeah. And once you leave the basement, you get tackled by that demon.
That is the demon Alu.
Yeah, Alu, as you find out later.
Yeah.
They specifically name. You probably could have figured it out before, but like they name them right after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this segment also has the seal that we're trying to break in the complex. That's also part of it. That's Alu's seal, is it, or is that?
That's Alu's.
That's Alu's, not Malif. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Malphus is, I think, the last one.
Oh, okay.
No, I think you're right. I think it is Malphus.
I think that was Malphus' seal break. Yeah.
I think you're right. Okay.
Yes.
So you do that. You can go find what's her name? Tiffany?
Mm-hmm.
In a weirdly calm portrait.
Oh,
just a lot younger woman that I thought was gonna be in just smoking. Being like, and very cool. about everything once
What do you mean by that,
the
Chris?
cops are cool. Once the cops are called,
What do you mean by that?
and she's just standing there. It's
No,
fine. She was kidnapped, knocked out by and brought to a room with a fucking crater in it.
As you do.
There's a
Yeah.
hole into the basement or whatever.
It's a hell of a
With
weekend.
demons and shit running around.
It was the
Oh,
80s.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention when you get knocked out by that demon, Alu, you get a possession sequence that looks really good.
It's wild to see.
Yeah,
Like,
really fucking cool.
because it's like not only an epileptic, it's like a full body jerk, like panic possession. He also like spits up blood or something. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome to the max.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't do the secret boss because you can leave from here.
The secret boss in this one, I did watch some of the Tiffany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how to get the secret boss?
How do you get the tell the people, tell the good
Okay,
folks.
I can't wait. I love this shit because it's one of my favorite old creepypastas or like game creepypastas.
Okay.
So in that apartment you can find if you exercise certain items, which you can throughout the entire Fate series.
Mm-hmm.
Just secret items like mirrors, photos that look evil, and then in this case a jack-o'-lantern.
Ooh, yeah.
You find notes. And then there's a series of notes in this apartment. There's a lot of notes in this apartment. This apartment's probably the most dense of the entire game.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's probably where you're going to spend the majority of your time.
Yeah.
You find enough notes. There's this kid who lives there. I forget his name. I'm going to call him Daniel for now. Daniel is a kid who lives with very protective parents, Christian parents, as you only find out in that they have a Halloween block party. They don't seem affiliated with any of the satanic stuff at first. But they throw a Halloween block party annually that they ask people not to dress up too scary. It's going to be fun. We're going to keep it PG because they have a kid who gets excited easily. Who gets very scared and apparently got very spookified last Halloween. Terrified from someone doing something.
Unclear
kind of unclear what it is.
Okay.
From someone doing something, we don't want an incident that happened like last year.
Right.
So they invite all these people and like, yeah, hopefully we're gonna have a good Halloween party. Long before this, you find out there's a thing called the elevator friend, and that there's a friend who, is an elevator friend according to Daniel, and then you find a drawing of it. And in order to get the elevator friend to come out, you have to mash the 7th floor button. Because if you try to hit it just to explore the apartment, nothing happens. You have to go. You have to figure out how to get there yourself.
Okay.
So if you mash it, a creature flashes on screen. And then once you leave the elevator, you'll just walk into a room and hear breathing or like a kind of like sort of breathing. And you know that's when that elevator friend is just going to descend from the wall somewhere very quickly. And if it touches you, it kills you.
Right.
But you can banish away with your cross. And you can. It's easy. It's not that hard. You go, all right, cool. I did it. But there's numbers in all of Daniel's notes. A sequence of numbers and they match the symbols on the elevator.
Okay.
So what if you press the elevator sequence? Now, if you're a creepypasta fan from like, especially ritual creepypastas, you'll recognize that 7 numbers like I did.
Is that the elevator?
It's the elevator game.
Fuck that. Nah.
Wow.
So you have to play the elevator game in Faith Chapter 3 or to get the secret boss. So you do that, and it's slow because you know that animation of going up the elevator in that game is very slow.
It is.
You have to watch the elevator close and open into black void.
Yep.
Every time.
Yep.
And if you get it, you walk out and you walk into a hallway that loops. And when
Okay.
you go into the different aspects of the area, you see a sprite of a small child with a balloon walking with the elevator friend that you killed, just happily. They're both happy. They both look super happy. Off screen, you can never catch them. There's also a room that you walk into, and some say it's a portrait, some think it's a window. I think it's a window if you know the elevator game. With
Right.
just a giant fucking cross in the horizon,
Yeah.
Mhm.
on a red sky. It looks fucking cool, man. Because in the elevator game, that means you went to another dimension, right?
Yeah. You're in the hell dimension now. Yeah.
Uh, and then now you can find uh the neighbor for Tiffany,
Okay.
who she trusted. Turns
Okay.
out she was trying to be a vessel like Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And has a really cool sequence where it looks like Amy's body,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but obviously not wearing clothes, but tastefully censored.
Okay.
But headless. Like it looked like it almost like a flower. Like it kind of peels off. Looks
Ooh,
like kind of just blah, right?
that's
As a
awesome.
demon grows out of it, and you fight the empty vessel because she couldn't be a vessel like Amy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
and
like
you
it.
have to do that boss fight, and it's a really cool monster design.
That
And
does
then
look
you
good.
do that and you leave. But Nick, I don't know if you know this. Did you know there's a variation of the elevator game, right? Where during halfway through it, I think it's on like floor 10 or whatever. Um, there's a chance an old lady will walk into the elevator with you.
No.
So
No.
I didn't get
Oh,
it. I have to look it up now.
No.
I didn't get
But
it.
apparently it's a 1 in 3 chance. Did you get it?
I did not get that at all.
Okay, there's a 1 in 3 chance a lady walk in. If you look at her, you die, and apparently it's a crazy good jump scare. And you
Here-
have to leave the elevator at the end to do it. It's fucking cool, man. It's like, oh, dude, it's so good. It's the best way. It's the best hidden boss.
So I have to check that out, dude, because as soon
Yeah,
as you said I'm so familiar with the story, I'm like, well, I know who that is.
yeah.
Like, fuck that. Oh my
I know. I
god,
want
that's
to see if I can get that sequence going, or if someone's got it recorded.
yeah. Yeah.
Fucking cool, man. I live for that shit. As someone who was really into the elevator. Um, I remember once in college we were doing a horror writing contest for like this English club I was part of, and
Mm-hmm.
I started writing it about the elevator game because we had to take an urban legend.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I just never finished it because I think I had to focus on finals or something. But
Yeah.
I should do that.
Lost treasure could be coming
Lost
back, guys.
treasure. Could be coming back. It's cool, man. It's a cool game. All right. So let's just go right into the third act, the
Okay.
final act, the day of the profane Sabbath,
Yay.
or the
Daycare,
right before. Sorry, go ahead.
and this is all daycare center segment. This
Yeah.
is
Daycare.
okay.
Which kind of leads just right into the end game, right?
I would say, yeah.
Because you get teleported anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to make it quick. If you go to the neighbors, just because I'm looking at the time, if you look into the neighbors' windows, all of a sudden they're flashing different crazy things
Mm-hmm.
on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And including, I wrote the references down. One sec. Oh yeah, what's funny is Gary's like the landlord of that apartment, and he's still demanding rent and utilities, so he's fucking evil.
He's as evil as he fucking gets, you guys.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, he's landlord.
So viewing the TVs on the third day shows Amy, Candle Cove references,
oh nice.
including the
That,
skeleton.
that one I caught, yeah.
Yeah, that one's a really rare one, I think. Pentagrams, eyes, and
Wow.
Gary loves you flashing on the TV. Okay, does anyone want to take us through the third one, or should I keep going?
Who are you doing?
Yeah, just take us
Alright.
on, and we'll get into the next bit. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so you go to daycare. a bunch of cops are outside the daycare. In fact, you have a chance. There's a cop that speeds around you, and you have to pull to the side of the road. You have a chance to just leave from there. You go back and you go visit and see what all the hubbub, and the cops have the orphanage surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
All surrounded. So you have to break in through the back, go in, solve this puzzle with all these symbols on the floor, change their colors, and you figure this out by reading all the children's drawings and finding these symbols.
Yeah.
Right. Which, not outright satanic symbols, but they can be. The moon, a star, although it's not shaped like a pentagram.
Well,
it's
they have the
Go ahead.
one. Well, I was gonna say one of them is just the Holy Spirit.
One of them is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Granted, that could just be like Christian Texas orphanage.
That was what I like, super Christian.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a raven, I think, right? Or it's the bird, Holy Spirit.
Spirit bird. That's what we call it.
Pigeon, whatever. Dove, I think.
White pigeon.
And a chalice.
Yeah.
So you go solve those. I'm not missing anything. There's no demon encounter right before you jump into the hole, or once the door opens up.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so once you solve the puzzle, you go in, right?
Yeah.
And is that when you go into the flashback? The final one, or no?
Well, okay. So before the flashback, there's the part of him going into like the rooms of like where, like, like where this holding space is, and then they have that cool scene of Gary with the needle, which is always scary. A man with a needle. And then I think that's what got me was like, because we already kind of hinted at those type of scares, and usually more like those higher frequencies of that kind of audio. So having something like that, and then now you get the flashback, yeah, and it's cool. It's like the one with
Wait, isn't the needle after you do the chessboard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you go through the gate. Do you already see the symbol Moloch?
Is it kind of flagged by those 4 seals, like
the 4 seals?
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking. Yeah, because Moloch's a giant statue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. That's later, I think.
Do you mean the one?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, you mean the statue where it's like it's holding somebody and it's an actual guy?
No, that's the safe statue. Moloch is the fucking looks like a bull, like a minotaur, with the chains at the end. They have to put the symbols on. That's way later. That's way later.
It's way later, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. You have to do a demonic chessboard, which, by the way, I don't know if that puzzle is actually solvable because it seems like bullshit when you're when you're trying to do it. But it's like the third time, and then you find out it's Gary who stabs you with the needle.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but also very horrifying in this world where demons actually exist.
I've also got...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, just like a dude runs up on you is like, I also have morphine, and then
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if it's morphine. He says it's something they put him in. Probably is morphine, but it's that funny thing that joke I always make, which is like, what's worse, a man running at you with a knife or a man running at you with a syringe?
Jeez.
And I always vote syringe is worse.
Syringe.
Because what the fuck's in that?
That's what the FBI taught me.
Yeah.
Also, if it's empty, you just die. If it's like air
in your blood kills you. Yeah.
It's fucking died. Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. I hate that shit. I hate that I know that fact. That just like any air could just kill you.
It could save your life in a way.
I know we want to keep moving it, but I just wanted to mention, like, when I saw Harry with the syringe, I immediately of when the gremlin gets a gun at the end of Gremlins 1.
Oh fuck yeah, and the gremlin is so terrifying.
It's already scary. Why did you give it a gun?
Even though it's goofy looking to like
Exactly.
well, it's a gorilla with a gun problem, right? It's really
Yes.
funny visually.
It's very funny, but the reality.
But good
wouldn't-
God, that gorilla has a gun. We have to fucking
it's the Don't give monkeys eyes. We're very against that. We're very against that.
Yeah, so by the way, you can turn that scene off in the options. I don't know if you guys checked out that.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because it's the only thing you can censor in the game.
Oh, okay.
Is the needle. Although it says for Dinah, so maybe he made that for a specific person.
Oh, maybe so.
So that's kind of cool. But it's the only thing that can be censored. And then that's when you go into the final flashback, Nick?
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
when you get that one.
Got it. Okay. God, dude. I played this only like 2 or 3 days ago, but so many things have happened since then. My brain's like all over the place.
But to be fair, it is dense. Like it is
Yeah.
literally twice the
A lot
size of.
happens. It's a very it's weird. It's 3 hours on average.
Yeah.
But it's a dense ass 3 hours.
Like I played it, and even I forgot some details because there's so much to throw at you.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love that. I love like
It's
the
good, yeah.
small dense experience way more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, final cutscene is the just encounter with Amy.
Yeah.
And that being really bad.
That's brutal. Yeah.
Very brutal. I almost don't want to like talk about it too much because like if you haven't seen it, you should go see it.
It's actually a really good kind of culmination. It feels like a satisfying
I know
moment.
it's weird, right? For these 3 games, it's very satisfying to watch. Like,
Yeah.
it's you get the whole thing with Amy, and you kind of really just get that sense that John has of like fucking up
Yeah.
and not being able to save someone.
Yeah.
Because it kills her, and it's gonna haunt him for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it really does lead you to believe, oh yeah, John's not all there. He can't be. Because we already figured out Allred's dead.
Yeah.
Is it in this sequence where you try to leave the house? Like, because it's if it's the last one, you can leave the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it is, you guys know there's 2 endings to it, right?
To the flashback part?
Yeah.
What are the 2
Okay, let me ask: did you go through the door, to outside the house?
I don't think I did when I
Did you
played
go
through.
to the basement?
I think
I went to the basement.
Okay,
the basement.
I also
Sorry.
went to the basement. If you go back
Okay.
to the basement, you can hear Allred
Oh,
talking, and then you find out it's Amy puppeteering
Amy,
him.
yeah.
yes.
Kind of
yes.
implying that Amy's going to be haunting John for the rest
was
of his
me.
life.
It was me all along. Oh, son of a bitch! It was me, Amy.
Oh, son of a bitch! I always think of like Broden from Auntie Donna and the way he says it. Oh god damn it! Like, and then and that's when you wake up in the cells, right?
Yeah.
All right, and that's when I think you see Moloch, because you're trying to get Gary, and that's when you do the whole like, the puzzle, the red light, green light thing.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's so weird, right? It kind of adds this playfulness to it.
Yes. We're talking about the one where it's like there's more than one coming at you, right? For the red light, green light.
Yeah. So it starts off with one, just you're playing with one person, and then as you're leaving, demons just constantly, slowly following you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where you find the third boss is those paintings in the hallway to those rooms.
Okay.
Right in front of the save statue. If you pass them enough, the pictures change until like it becomes a distorted, bloody face.
Oh.
Faces.
Okay.
And once you do that, a giant fucking demon head starts haunting you, and will just slowly come from different corners of the screen. I'll have
Oh,
symbols flash on your computer.
okay.
And it's random where it appears. And my only disappointment is that it's very easy to beat them.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that it messes with like giant symbols flash on your computer screen and everything, and the
Mhm.
sound's really good. But yeah, and then you beat him, and that's the third one.
Huh.
And then you've broken all the seals on whatever the fuck
Mhm.
thing. You don't know yet. So you do the. We don't have to really go over the puzzles, but you do the puzzles. Going
Mhm.
back to the save statue, you feed the thing to Moloch, and that's where you start traversing all the cells, right, Nick? To go get the last thing.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
You can start-
Um, and then you have to navigate the whole thing backwards, like in the dark,
Yeah.
with just a lantern, or no, with the lantern.
Yeah.
Real quickly, and that's when you end up outside, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, and then you have to make it all the way to the shack
Yes.
where Gary was staying at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that where you? No, that's not where you talk to Gary.
No, that's
You
I
interview
think,
him.
yeah,
What?
you interview
Oh, no.
him. No, but that's right before the last boss fight.
yeah. That's
Okay.
on day 4.
Yeah,
That's on.
because it implies you've been doing this orphanage thing like for an entire day.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you were in. Because yeah, you were in the forest. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's like we have that scene of like the
Mhm.
white body, like
Yes.
the yeah, and then yeah, it's all on day 4. So then
Mhm.
yeah, you would get if you were collecting the notes, then yeah, that would be like one of the last 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go do that. You go find the shack, and then you solve the puzzles by growing, by following runes to find, like I guess chained up victims,
Okay.
and then exorcising them, or chained up cultists or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you're being chased by slightly headless. I guess they still have heads, but they're hanging on crow women.
Yeah.
That just, man, they're actually kind of hard to avoid because there's a lot that can appear on screen.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's very like, yeah, you're just reminiscent of the first game, but now it's you're in the woods looking for stuff like in the first game. Everything's snowing, and then yeah, just fucking going through all that until finally you break the seal and you can go down in there. And is that where it kind of goes into like the first game aesthetic?
How, first game aesthetic? How do you mean? What do you kind of?
Like
Like it
the
looks like you're in
4th.
the woods for the first game. Or am I crazy? Am I misremembering that?
No, that.
Uh, that happens like
Okay.
because it's when like you just have the field like this only it's all black. It's a black screen, but then you have like the sort of circle.
Yeah.
You have like the sigils on the bottom, and then you have like I'm just describing what literally happens because
Yeah.
again, you can get into it right after this. That's what's like you get that screen of like riddle priests. How do you make a portal to hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And is that where you meet Gary?
Yes,
Yeah.
because then sorry, because I was talking about like the white body bag
Oh
sort
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Your fate shall be sealed upon thy head, stuff like that.
Yes. Oh, you're is that when you're talking to God type thing?
Yeah, and then you talk to Gary, and then you have the choices,
Yeah. And
which
you
yeah,
find out John's like just fucking terrified and
I
yeah, I
kind
know.
of a punk because he's just gonna leave. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what else to do.
I don't know. I mean, it's yeah, you know what?
Okay,
Fair enough. It
what
is
am I
kind
gonna
of like
do?
because no, because I was gonna be like, yeah, but it's not very heroic. But then I'm like, but he's not a hero. Uh,
No, no.
he's way too late for everything.
This
And
yeah. That was the point of the first game. Is like it
yeah,
was too like
Yeah.
this is his redemption essentially.
because he has fate.
This whole
Gotta
sequence
have
is
faith.
yes fate.
Oh,
Uh, but like, just how fucking terrible. Like, there's some real lines in there
Uh-oh.
that like really sell just how scared he is, and just I don't even care anymore, man. I just want to be out of this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
terrifying. Because then you think, because God tells him like, what's like you one thing you want, and it's not even I want like Amy
money.
back or like the people freed or the kids safe, right? It's I just want to be out of here.
Yeah.
Not
So,
even the problem solved. Just I just don't want to be here.
which actually leads to the third ending anyway. Yeah.
Yes. Um. But yeah, that's where he gets the speech with Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And
So cool.
if you play through more than once, I think you get a better idea. You're only allowed half the answers, basically.
Yeah, each one.
Yeah.
Yes. You get a better thing. It's stuff like, who is he? And he's just a normal human being, like you and me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is supposed to be kind of the antithesis of John, who's supposed to be like, I'm a, as a priest, you're supposed to be a voice of God or a man of God,
Right.
where everyone else is a person. But it's
Right.
Gary's whole thing is like, this is what a human can be capable of
Right.
without your Catholic Vatican powers.
Exactly.
Held us back with the Bible.
Malphus as just a demon, but also being a weird thing of his mom, like trying to do it. Amy being the true vessel, or like the closest they got to connecting the other world and bringing Malphus to the real world.
Yeah.
Which is why you probably see the unspeakable horror in like the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just and before he goes into his own boss fight on guard and says on guard, which is a really cool fight.
It is. It is.
Oh, I forgot to mention the lead up to that sequence is you walking through all the cultists before you get to Gary, and them slowly transforming into full blown unspeakable like demons.
Yeah.
Just fucking violent, vibrating lines on screen.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. Very almost cinematic for this Coleco game, you know. It's really cool.
And then he's like, "Rain of spiders," and then
Yeah, Rados. I know, dude. That move got like made me laugh every time he said it. Because I would just go, "Oh no, not fucking spiders, man!"
No. just clutches his cross. No.
Lord, why?
Spiders don't know the fear of God. Therefore, my cross doesn't work.
They weren't baptized. Spiders go to purgatory.
Oh man. So yeah, you do the fight with Gary, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
You beat him, and then a gunshot.
Yeah.
Off screen as Garcia just blasts him.
Yep.
Fucking shotgun.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of surprising and I guess a little cheap, but it was so cool that I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking this is a priest I can get behind.
I started blasting.
And I started blasting with my fucking hunting, like, 2-barreled shotgun.
This is maybe a specific pull, but
yeah.
I think it's Grindhouse where Cheech Marin plays a priest.
Oh, maybe.
No, not Grindhouse. Well,
do you mean Machete?
Machete. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway, that vibe. That's the energy of the priest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, like, I will say the rotoscope of John covered in the blood saying "Amen."
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
They walk through the front of the orphanage.
Yeah, the daycare.
And all like fucking scrambled. Just
all the cops have been eviscerated by the cultists and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the first chapter. The cop is murdered by the cultist. The cop who helps you.
Yeah.
After he chases him off for burning his car, you can find him in the pigeon alley, and he's dead.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, having been killed by the cultists.
Right.
Oh well, you have to seal the. If you're getting the regular ending, which I think we all did the first try,
Yeah.
Because we all missed one, right? Like boss fight or something.
That's right.
You have to get that tomb, like the rock,
Yes.
with Hebrew written on it to seal the portal that Gary ran into.
Yeah, you have to go in.
Oh, sorry.
I've got it here. The Crucible is what they
Crucible.
call it.
Yeah.
And the Crucible is where the energy to summon the Antichrist is centered from that like demonic seal or what.
Yeah. We forgot to mention. Yeah, the whole Gary's ultimate thing was not just Malphus; it's to summon it's to bring forth the Antichrist.
Yes.
Which I don't think you ever even. You don't even get like a. You don't even see a shape or form of what the Antichrist looks like, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
I think that's very smart. Because what would it even be? Or like that's something you would have to really ponder for your story about what the Antichrist is going to look like.
A giant hand.
It's just a human like you and me.
It's just a glove, and it
Yeah.
hates.
It's just
Hey,
that
so-
character from American Dad.
It's Andy Samberg in a spandex suit.
His spandex suit.
No, my ass. Wait, Chris,
Yes.
real quick. So for ending 2, who'd you go with?
Oh, I went with Garcia.
Of course you did. That's right. You go with the homie.
Well, I did the thing of like, I think I looked at both. I went with Garcia. Because Tiffany just runs out of fucking nowhere.
Lisa?
Or Lisa, sorry, fuck. Tiffany's the neighbor. Okay, Lisa is the woman you're saving.
Yeah.
Lisa just runs out of nowhere. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We helped you once. I didn't realize
Garcia
John
saved
was
my
having a
life.
thing. Didn't realize
Yeah.
you're into his preacher.
It's like
Right.
his. I did get the sense that in some of the things we read between him and Lisa, like
Yeah.
he was basically on the fence about, oh, I could be a priest or I could like not anymore. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
No, I went with Garcia. Because I also think it's kind of fitting for John. And his whole thing of like this is supposed to be his redemption story of fixing the mistake with Amy.
yeah.
Right? And coming to his own as a preacher in this world where demons are fucking real.
Yes.
And going about. And just having like, yeah, the rest of your life is just trying to make better for that.
Yeah.
Not just because of what you did, but also the knowledge you've accrued about how the world works. Right?
Yeah.
And if you have these powers, you got to do them. You got to use them.
Yeah.
Which by the way, if you I don't know how you get it, but there's a bad version of that where Garcia just forces you to join him
Yeah,
by
that's
holding a gun to you.
It's where you don't beat any of the hidden bosses.
Gotcha.
no, that's the first ending, yeah.
Gotcha. Which is kind of funny because Garcia's like, no, you just none of this coward shit. Let's go.
I'll be a teacher, don't worry.
Yes. Man, when you join Garcia and you do the fucking the classic commando.
The bro handshake.
Yeah, the bro handshake. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go hunt some demons.
Yeah.
And Jennifer's, it's a real sweet and nice animation. Or Lisa, fuck. Really
Don't worry,
nice
yeah.
and sweet animation of you guys going away.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, yeah, what life are you gonna live?
Yeah, well what can you do? I was wondering, like, wait, what are you gonna
Demons
where
are
can
real,
you go?
man.
Like, yeah.
That shit can come back at any time, they said.
Because ideally you would, get with Lisa and then you guys join Garcia, like.
Yeah. Oh, I figured, yeah, you do it like that, right? Anyway, Garcia's like that. So those are the regular endings, right?
Yeah.
Now the two very specific endings. The true ending, which is you beat all the secret bosses, you have all the notes, so you can follow Gary into the portal to hell like on your own.
Yeah.
And you go into that old, like almost Mesopotamic or like old Hebrew style, like altar.
Mhm.
Where you fight, where his mom's still at as the channel for Malphus.
Yeah.
into that crazy demon fight, which I had to look up. It looks really hard. I haven't done it yet, but it's like a long ass fight that
And
almost
it's
becomes like Undertale-esque in the bullet hell style.
I was just gonna say the skulls on that are very Undertale. Yeah.
Which are of course like very Toho, like as Nick could probably
Yeah.
attest to more.
Yeah, I will say it's funny because like despite all that, you do get like some of the best animation.
Yeah.
That's my favorite and in the series. It's it's the ones that happen during this fight.
Yeah.
God.
It's
But it's
really
just a
cool.
bullet.
Oh, go ahead.
I say no, it was really cool because you then get like it's kind of like everything hinted at, kind of just bring forth.
You get the Demon Alu combining with Moloch. Well, they form the name of the boss is Astaroth.
Astaroth. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick. I think I interrupted. Keep going.
No, that's a great point. Yeah. So with that, oh man, yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that one, but just all the animation between it and getting these cool back and forths, both John and this transformation it's going through, and then you get like that sick shot with his like hand over his face. It's so good. His big ass neck is so good.
Yeah. So during that whole sequence, you have a lot of chances. If you get caught or anything before dying. In the cool like prayer sequence of John asking for God's help. So I don't know if you guys saw that whole thing. I forget what each line is, but it's essentially the recurring motif of bloody tears, right?
Yeah.
Which is a very Catholic, especially like Spanish Catholic and Mexican Catholic, like of just life is pain, life is suffering.
All things that come in your life are because of suffering.
Because of suffering, yeah. And it's that whole sequence until his eyes start glowing the same color of getting that cross power up, and I was like, that's so fucking cool. Yeah. But if you die enough, he loses faith, and then he dies.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a weird sequence. It's weird in the sense there's these thing of like, they do a like break time, and it does like computer game like celebration, and we're waiting because the fight's been going on for a while, and then you get back into the fight in a really cool fucking song.
Yeah.
Oh, it's rad.
It's rad. I'm gonna sample that shit. And then and then when you beat him, oh my god, I'm trying to forget what the ending sequence is right after you beat Astaroth. Which you have to use the profane flame, which is the fires that are constantly burning in that temple, to set the demon on fire.
You set them on fire, and then you have to exorcise Amy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exorcise Amy for the last time.
Yeah.
In his like redemption, or what I would argue start of redemption, but
is him making good, and but then she like turns to bones and like Buffy style, like
it's very brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, like, in the line, I mean, we were talking a little bit about the writing, like the dialogue. The line that Amy gets at the end feels so like, John, they can't hurt me anymore. It felt like so. Oh my god,
it felt really good. Like,
oh shit,
yeah.
Just this thing of like she's been in constant suffering.
Yeah.
Up until now.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's funny because then last thing she says is, you have to finish. You still have to finish this.
Yeah.
So it isn't like the true ending.
And then what happens right after that? That's you then join up with Garcia. Yeah, you start demon hunting with Garcia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's no coming back from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demons exist and are now running amok. You gotta.
It's so there is a line that John has when he comes back from that, and he's like, "Man, he says something like, it was unspeakable. It's and I don't know if my faith is gonna be the same." And he's like, "You know the devil is real. Why are you not?"
It's actually a really good line for someone like, hell exists, demons are real, you've seen the devil, you've met the devil.
So therefore,
God's real.
the God is real. You have proof now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good, like, come on, man. By the way, he calls you Ehud the entire time, and I was like, yeah, that's very comforting. I like that. Like,
that is reassuring. Yeah.
okay, so did you guys see the bad ending?
Yes, I wanted to talk about it so
Yes.
bad.
All right, you want to go for it then? I've been talking for a while. Like,
No, sure.
yeah.
So in the bad ending, if you go out on the day, well, first of all, it's raining. It's like a blood storm or something. It's like
yeah. By the way, in order to get it, not even the regular bosses, you have to cower out of everything.
Yeah, you have to pussy out of everything, and you go back to your house. Is that it? You have to go back to your house every night.
Just go home.
Just go home. And the shot that kind of like messed me up, because it was like, I don't know if it's a reference to Halloween 3, but it made me immediately think of the dead kid.
You're right.
Do you remember? You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right?
Season of the Witch. Yeah.
It'll be surprising.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that probably is, dude, because he's referencing movies left and right here. So,
like, that was a great dead kid. And what was on the other house? What's on the family house? I don't remember that window.
Some of them have hung themselves, and
Okay.
like, there's blood and like body parts, like around there.
Perfect. Your car is on fire.
Car's on fire by cultists. Yeah.
Your backyard has just a hell mouth in it.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
They're trying to break into your house.
And you have to come down to the basement to go into your secret crucifix room.
Yeah.
Where you go to the basement, you get your... and then there's like a demon that manifests, because now just all hell is loose on Earth.
Yeah.
And I believe at that point you don't have anything to fight it off. I don't remember being able to interact with the demon that appears in the basement. Go upstairs, go to the crucifix room, and that's where the ghost of Amy is.
Well, it looks like a doll he made of Amy. Like,
is that?
Yeah. Like, to me, I read that as he took one of the mannequins home, like, and dressed it up like Amy.
Okay.
Because it looks like the bad stitching and all that coming out, like.
Okay. Yes. Absolutely. So this is like, the answer is, this is a shrine to his failure that he's never gotten over.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's oh my god, there's a name for it. An idol of some sort that he's like talking to, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Nick. You were gonna say something?
I say like because then you have the ending with him and the twins. Like you have Amy and Michael,
mm-hmm.
and then they're holding his arms, and and then you just
he made them up. Yeah,
made them up, and you have pretty much the closest depiction of Antichrist, of like the hand grabbing.
Yeah, or Satan, as we probably think it is.
Because the ending's called A New Vessel. Like,
yeah.
Which it's the same thing from the first game where the face opens up, and it is the portal to hell that they mentioned throughout the game, and the arm comes out and reaches out.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's Satan, Nick, because he says, "I saw Satan that night."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
And pulls him in.
Use
it for
head first.
Oh, go ahead.
No, just head first. Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's a really cool horror sequence.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the media. Let's go into falling action. What were our takeaways from Faith Chapter 3? What did we get out of it?
The first thing...
Go ahead.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, the game is... It's an interesting look at... we've talked about how this guy clearly knows his like Christian demonology and things like that.
Intimately,
Like,
yeah. Very much.
very well. I think that he's actually I'm gonna make a kind of broader statement, but I'll try and justify. I think he's not only doing the kind of fear that religious communities can experience.
Uh-huh.
I would say, based more so on my own experiences, like he's reflecting really well what very conservative and religious communities experience fear as in this game, in the sense of there is danger everywhere
Everywhere.
of the most society destroying kind,
Yeah.
and this constant fear of people negating your like apocalyptic fears for what are about to happen, as like that sounds kind of extreme. No,
Mhm.
the whole world, it's all of it.
It's all of it. It's all of it.
Yeah.
It's the cities. It's that very conservative fear of cities.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
just where big groups of people are.
Where people I don't know are. People I don't know and thus must be dangerous.
Yeah, and
Everything I
and
don't.
it's a den of sin, of
Yes.
debauchery.
And like the eight, and then he's picking. I mean, all of that's kind of a manifestation of the satanic panic in culture in general. But yeah, like the television is a corrupting influence. It's letting evil in your home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they get it's not the horrific images on in the houses don't happen until stuff starts showing on screen, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Which, like, oh man. Sorry. Yeah, no, I can see that. I hadn't thought about it from that angle. I've been thinking about it as a more intimate like thing. Like, so what kind of I'm gonna take this from a different angle.
Go ahead.
We had that great experience on stream. I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere. I gotta find it. Where me and you were playing through it, and it was hitting us like pretty hard. It was weird. Like, as people grew up, kind of in religious upbringings and got out of it.
Yeah.
In a world where we could have been, religious conservative.
Yeah.
Although, granted, I know now it's not bad. It's not as bad as it could have gone. But it was still like, you see it, right? You see the intensity. You see the rotting kind of like, or where things could have gone really, really bad if you hadn't made certain decisions, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
And there's lines in there that are just things you hear all the fucking time. That famous line of "The devil made me do it" is hits home as just an excuse for people to be shitty and
yeah, guy, like, go ahead, dude. If you were gonna mention the crime, please go.
Oh, no. Nick was saying something. That's what I was.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. I said about the thing of like, justifying. I mean, like also using it as sort of just a way to justify and remove accountability, and it really is
a
just
reoccurring thing in religious households.
Well,
yeah. Oh, sorry.
So to build on it, like in the early '80s, like there was the big case called "The Devil Made Me Do It" case, where essentially, and if you guys have listened to us talk about spooky movies before, we've talked about the Warrens, but like the Warrens were a big proponent of saying, yeah, this young man didn't mean to do the rape murder. It was literally a demonic possession. You can't put him in jail, etc., etc. You know. And I think like
the trial of Arnie Cheyenne.
Yes, Arnie Cheyenne. The devil made me do it. Killing.
The devil made me do it. Killing.
Like it was a weird moment where we somehow legitimized, like we even entertained in a courtroom somebody saying something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. A wild time, a wild moment where the culture was, I think, really ready to believe. Well, that's the other part of the satanic panic is also kind of building on what we had just been talking about, like people just can't accept that the bad things come from inside the home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arnie killed his family.
Yep.
A lot of terrible crimes that people were suddenly waking up to, especially the game touches upon like sexual abuse and things like that. Those tend to happen.
Implied. It never dives right in, but it's implied.
It's heavily implied that there's some fishy business going on, and like all of that, and the people who were worried about, the 1980s is one of the first times where issues of sexual crime suddenly got reported a lot more. Whether it's adults or children that were the victims, but people were of the position like, well, it's definitely not what these experts are saying, where it's trusted individuals or even family members who do this to each other. It's definitely the bad people out there, the outsiders to our community who are bringing the devil in, basically. It's a big part of it is just a rejection of being able to say, oh no, these bad things, we foster them when we don't, address them in our community, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of that whole, of course, with that whole thing, you're absolutely right. Bringing it back to the intimate part, like,
yes, please.
Just remembering, like, because me and you, well, as further as I go on, I think I'm remembering less and less about like biblical stuff than I used to. I used to have that shit on fucking lock. Like,
yeah,
I used to really know my stuff and like be able to go after people if they ever quoted shit. I don't think I could do that anymore because like it's been so long and just I have different interests now.
Yeah.
Although I still find interest in that, like countercultures, especially around religious areas.
Yeah.
Quote unquote saying it. Oh my god, no, it's gonna be taken out of context. What I was about to say, but yeah, countercultures for that. And just we talked about the conservative horror of it.
Yeah.
And it hit just reminding me of like mentalities people would have, but also playing off of like the cool things about it, like the war of God against demons is really fucking cool. Like, if you look at it from a story point, it's really rad, this idea of the end of days and how it comes out of it. But also, this plays off the notion that probably would be true is that humans are the ones that are essentially going to bring it about it, like going to bring it about. But one could also argue God sets in motion and all that. It was all predetermined, and we're just fucking playing through that shit, or whatever. But I'm not gonna get lost in the weeds with that. But
here's maybe a good thread to build on that one thought, at least, is like because there's different ways you play faith determines what kind of character you actually are looking at. Like we're talking about, like, there's quite a few threads that aren't the official story, like not the what quote unquote like a true ending or resolution, but there's a lot of them where, oh no, John is just a very ill man. Like he's a man consumed with he's consumed with guilt. He can't move on from PTSD, et cetera, et cetera. Like and in that,
go ahead. Sorry.
And in that, you can like read it as, oh, it's entirely from the minds of humans where this kind of evil comes from. It's entirely like our own creation put out in the world.
Yeah, it reminds me of this thing. It reminds me of like Dante's Inferno, and I know, or like real fucking book nerd over here. And get ready for this shit. Sandman's Seasons of Mist, where I forget who the guy is. That he's specific. He's it was a dude who killed a lot of people during war. Might have been Hannibal. Who's chained up to a rock, and is crying out loud of like how bad his torture is. But also demanding more punishment and more stakes. Rock into being longer. As Satan or as Lucifer and Morpheus are taking the tour of hell before he closes it down. By the way, y'all should read Season of Mist. It's like my favorite Sandman thing ever.
Yeah.
And Lucifer goes, you're done, right? Like, you could just go.
Mhm.
We're only doing this because you want us to. And in
Right.
fact, we're closing everything down. So you're going to be free
Yeah.
to go from here. But he wants to be chained to the rock. And
Mhm.
it's this whole, I'm doing it in justice, but it goes into this deep discussion about hell being our own creation, right?
Yes.
Punishment is something we set upon ourselves.
Yeah.
I know there's a very dangerous road we can get into where that means morality doesn't actually exist, and maybe in a sense it doesn't. But I would also argue that we do this in order to ensure survival with everyone
Sure.
and to make sure we're all having a good time while
Yeah.
while being alive.
Yeah.
But that hell is our own creation, and that these stories, these biblical stories, are started out with us just doing that, writing stories and trying to come up with morals and fables to
Mhm.
everyone, and it kind of spirals out of control. And maybe it's because of like human nature, like humans desiring worship and
Mhm.
needing something in their life to follow so passionately. And when they follow with that kind of passion, and if it's
Mhm.
wrong, they'll do whatever they can to prove it's right in some manner,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. But it reminds me of that, and especially when we get into the line of Gary's just a regular human being, and that we're creating this, right?
Yeah.
We're creating this, like we're bringing about the end of days.
Yes.
In this cool thing. Now, if we're going into like a more kind of like what's going on in the story with John, like if we're following him as a character, it's a
Mhm.
story of redemption, as we mentioned earlier. It's a coward who failed
Yeah.
at his first trial as a man of God, and
Yeah.
failed so spectacularly
Two
that
people died.
two people die, and one could argue that this is all his fault in the bringing of hell.
Yeah.
But it kind of isn't when you find out later, because actually it delayed it in Amy
Yes.
dying. If which is a weird consolation. But at the end of the day, a 17-year-old girl died. Um,
Yes.
the father, the priest who brought him there to train, died. I
Yeah.
think the parents are implied dead, right? They're dead.
They're explicitly dead.
Yeah.
Explicitly dead.
And he has to go about that, and his entire priest career is followed with that, or his life, because it's not just a career at that point. You're following it like that's your life
Yeah. Calling. Yeah.
work, and
Yeah.
like what your goal is as a man of God.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, the true ending is where you get that full redemption. If not, the regular endings are you trying to figure out how to either get out of it or follow some road to redemption, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And then the bad ending being just cowering out, not facing any of that, and just wallowing
Refusing
in
to
your
look
own
at.
failure. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just
Yes. Yes.
wallowing in a failure, a hell of your own creation. This doll, this twins you
Yeah.
created. Yeah.
I like that reading actually. I think that's a really strong reading, Chris. I like that a
Oh,
lot. Like
like,
especially well, especially like if we I think a key thing for our audience to hold in mind is also like we had mentioned earlier about like this Catholic view of suffering being the key to everything good in your life.
uh
Anything worthwhile you must suffer for. Suffering always,
yeah.
is the road to uh, redemption, glory, um, uh, true faith, etc., whatever it might be. And I think like that's also kind of the nasty backside of it, though, is
Mm-hmm.
like I just gotta dig in deeper, even when you're making the wrong choice, and then
Yeah.
thereby it's a question of what is your faith in, what are you actually applying that
Yeah.
to, because there's ones that will, wherein you can have faith that helps you, strengthens you, helps you confront things, or a faith that like you're a failure, you're disgusting, and there's nothing you can do that will fix what you've done,
Yeah.
etc. It depends where you're aiming that.
Yeah,
But
no, I get what you're saying. Like, it's a belief in your
yeah,
own incompetency.
exactly.
And you know that to be true.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
you bet on that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nick, any other take you could see about this game? Because otherwise, I'm just going to talk about like gameplay, what it does. But
Yeah, no, I mean that I definitely felt, like especially towards the end about that of like this sort of thing with faith as a kind of what Ian talked about. It's a subject matter of, is it something that is either a burden, but it carries you either way. It's just like, yeah, what in the direction it takes you, and like how like, yeah, especially with John, it is very much like, even if he does the right thing, there is still that guilt of it all that is they carry, that he puts, that it's on him for all the endings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm trying to think like what you guys haven't, at least like what, because my inclusion was pretty similar to your guys's. I think because in terms of religion stuff, on a podcast, I was pretty clear. Like I just never had an interest. I had like, I think it was just like it was always there, and then when people stopped forcing me to go, I just didn't go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think my views on it were definitely more like, yeah, definitely more like just seeing the negative use of it, of seeing it kind of like we talked about, being used to avoid accountability, or just people like trying to get out of crimes.
Yeah.
A lot of the extremes of it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Same
It's weird.
with
It's
media.
religion.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, same with the media. You know.
Yeah.
But even then, like that's what I really liked about Faith. It had like this really interesting middle ground of it all, despite all the horrific stuff happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's I get what you're saying with the middle ground. And like in the, because it's again a very personal story.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about a man. It's a redemption story for a man, right? For
Yeah.
this priest. And just all these themes kind of following along with it, which makes it so entertaining because you are just at its core like wondering what are you gonna do, and then like being drawn in by fantastically crafted horrors and like setups.
Oh yeah.
In this game, it's great. Yeah, middle. I didn't even think about that as a middle ground because I do think it has a stance.
Yeah.
If you really get into it.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not the first thing. The first thing is a redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Which at its core is a very Christian thing.
Yeah, redemption is it. It's the big idea.
That's the idea. That's the good thing you should take out of it, and that you work your entire life to right your wrongs, right? But
cash it in, yeah.
And that's not easily gained.
True.
And then they pull out VHS tape of your life, and you're like, "Well, what about this year? This year you were crushing it, but this year, I'm telling you,
I don't know.
I have a question for you guys before we end the podcast, but
Sure.
We'll get to it. All right. As for the gameplay, we talked about like how big this is compared to the other games. It's crazy, like the step up. Don't get me wrong; those first two games are great, but I think Erdorf nails it in this third one.
Yeah.
The scares are all fantastic and fun. And really well set up. The creature designs and demon designs are fantastic for how little information you can work with in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The backgrounds are gorgeous. The sound design's great. I think the boss fights are better in this one for how little action you do.
I think they're much more challenging. I really liked it.
Interesting.
I think it's them building it's basically like 1 is rudimentary, 2 is intermediate, and 3 is all right. Take everything from 1 and 2 and turn it up a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not like impossible. It's
Mhm.
just very well like thought about for this very limited gameplay thing, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um yeah, it just I think it's just all of everything else but better. The environments are way more creepy. And like I said, the timing of the scares, which is very important, like it's fantastically done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the acting's so good. Or the rotoscoping scenes are so fucking good.
That's some of the like the star work for me, guys.
Yeah.
Like because the
Oh, that's what got me
rotoscope
to play the
scene,
first game. So
Oh yeah.
those shots always like they're show stopping numbers in a
Yeah.
certain regard. It's just like Jesus Christ. Yeah.
they're so good whenever they happen. You like that's a kind of reward for even how scary they are. It's a reward because they're so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lately,
Like I
I
know
gotta
this
see if I
wasn't.
can find the elevator game one before we call off for tonight. But yeah,
Oh yeah, like one of the standouts to my mind in the rotoscope is still from Faith 2 with the don't move demon.
oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's fucking dope, you guys. Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
rad.
Uh,
But yeah, I think any last words before we get into the denouement?
um, no, I'm quite happy to.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
roll on.
we definitely went longer than I thought we were going to, but I mean it's a good game.
It's very good.
It's
uh,
really good.
all right. So
Mm.
then, denouement.
Mhm.
What anything to check out for the listener? If they like this or things this reminded you of,
The
to
Book of
maybe
Revelation.
for listeners to check out. I mean, the obvious is go watch The Exorcist. It's a American movie
Yeah,
classic.
the
If you haven't
classic.
seen it, and it's good. It's like it. It's crazy. I think that movie's not just like one of the best horror movies ever made. I could
Mhm.
argue like it's one of the best films like just ever put down.
Oh yeah, it's legitimately like, and they guys, if you're used to a more modern pacing, it is a little slower, but damn it, it's worth it. It's so
No,
good. It's so
it's
good.
so worth it, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good. Doesn't like it's weird. It's slow, but it doesn't fuck around either with each shot. Like
No, yeah,
everything's like really well considered.
yes, yeah.
Um, that's like the first one that comes to my mind. I already recommended the Season of Mist Volume 4, the Sandman. Sandman, you should read in order, but you could also kind of read it out if you wanted, except for like
Yeah,
the first and last book.
yeah.
Uh, but that's one of my favorite comics of all time. This is Volume 4. If not one, it's also one of my favorite pieces of literature. So,
Yeah, it's
go
it's
check that out.
Lucifer retiring was top notch stuff.
I love
Very
that.
good.
I love that book so much. Like,
Hmm.
excuse me. Any other recommendations y'all got?
Nick, what do you think? I've got one in the barrel if you need a minute.
Yeah, if we're going off of the whole like, I guess I'm going more of the Commodore 64 kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Game wise, a lot of the lo-fi stuff, like stuff like Anatomy. I always think are always
Oh,
fascinating
if you're looking for a horror game, yeah, Anatomy's one of my favorites.
type piece of art. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love Anatomy.
Yeah. That I'm trying to think. For music wise, there was a lot of stuff like Ghost or stuff like that that had like
Yeah.
themes of satanic petting.
Mhm.
But I do think, yeah, I do think in terms of like, um specifically around that era, yeah, probably something more like, yeah, Ghost, Ghost,
Mhm.
music wise, and then,
Yeah, specifically, I would recommend the two
mm,
albums, Non Paradisi,
Mhm.
and the one I think that matches the most, really, for me, is Possessor, which is about possession.
yeah,
Yeah.
Also, an artist from Texas whose music was inspired by Satanic Panic and horror movies. So,
Oh dang. Okay. Okay.
fantastic showman too. If you ever get to see him live, he's great. I'm sorry, Nick. keep going.
No, I was gonna say all that, but yeah. Trying to think. Those are the only recommendations I can think of. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Ian.
Two short ones. From the old pod, one of the books I had recommended is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Gendy Hendricks. It's a 1980s, story about four teenage girls, and one of them gets possessed, and it's written from the perspective of I believe Hendrix is from South Carolina, so there's also like a very strong understanding of very religious, very conservative small town communities, and it's just a really interesting story about like it's a good exorcism story, it's a great demonic story, it's like all that stuff is great. It's also a really like there's moments that feel uncomfortably honest to me about how people actually react to someone going through something really tragic, which is not always helpful.
No,
it's not. And sometimes
and I've been on both sides of that, so no.
Yeah. Sometimes people's reaction to you going through something terrible is to let you know that you made this happen, actually. Which is so it's a great book, and I recommend. I actually tried the pilot of a new show that weirdly links with the theme of the Faith series. It's a Spanish language program. I believe it's produced in Mexico. It's called 30 Coins. If you guys heard about this.
Does that does it have to do with like the coins you put on like your eyes before you die, or like before when a person passes away, you put the coins on the eye?
No, I'll give you guys the short pitch of it because it's a fun idea. A priest with weapons who have been blessed by the Vatican, has been sent out because some Satanist has stolen the 30 pieces of silver Judas Iscariot received for turning in Jesus. And these 30 pieces of silver, each coin, it's very Jackie Chan Adventures. Each silver coin imbues its owner with demonic powers.
Sick. That's fine.
And so the priest has to hunt down the 30 pieces of silver of Judas Iscariot.
And one could argue, but that only means you can have at max 30 villains. But what if you start combining them?
Exactly.
And what happens when you have all 30?
I mean, do you get all the powers of... Yeah. I love that idea. It's like, one, you get millipede powers. Two, you get psychic. And then you get all 30. What do you get? Oh, he looks pretty jacked, guys.
He looks pretty jacked. I don't want to mess with that.
I don't want to...
He's also slight tint of red, like he drinks too much carrot juice.
He has like the fucking dual master glove where they get the stars. But he's that one guy that has like the 8 or like 10 rows.
Yeah.
the dual glove, the wrist.
Well, in Jackie Chan Adventures, like we mentioned, I think someone has like a glove or something, right? Like that he put on too.
Yeah.
Or am I crazy? But yeah.
No. But yeah, guys,
that sounds cool. I might check that out.
I've only checked out the pilot episode, but I just found out that Paul Giamatti gets to join season 2. So I guess it's doing well.
Big fat liar.
Careful.
All right, I'll have to check that out. All right, so we've been talking for a while. I think it's very obvious. Highly recommend this game, and if you listen to this whole thing and haven't checked it out, check it out. Go give
check it out.
The day this comes out, Halloween, I think the price is still going to be $10.24 on Steam, like American.
And if you play it the same day, you can stop the profane Sabbath before Halloween night.
Before it happens. It's nuts. All right, to take us all out, I'll just end it on this question so we can roll out. I'll say it one more third time. To take us out, this podcast, do y'all kind of just want to see what each other's funerals are? Like when you die, you want to see how people act at your funeral?
Like, I'm more interested in your funerals than mine.
How would I go about, Chris? What steps would I take to know that?
No. I'm not saying like what would you don't pull like a Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn thing.
Yeah,
Like
Okay.
I'm about to say.
well I'm saying but like when you die, wouldn't it be cool to know what your
That-
funeral's
Yeah, but
like?
they're all laughing.
They're all.
I come back as a spirit. I go through the wall, and everyone's just laughing.
I come
Oh,
back as a
look at 'em.
ghost. Come back as a ghost, and everybody's like, "Thank
Oh,
God
shit.
that's over." Shit.
Oh
Fuck.
God,
What
that was the
I guess I'm
worst.
thinking of that episode of Futurama where they do Bender's funeral.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking we should all do that for each other.
Okay,
We should all
I'd-
have funerals for each other.
I'd do that.
Sounds good. All right, we'll do it in the next episode.
Next
All
episode.
right, cool.
3
I was just
funerals.
wondering if you guys were like, I would. Wouldn't it be cool to see my funeral when it happened?
No, I see
No.
it. I'm gonna be fucking dead. No, I'd be curious, I guess.
Nick, why are you so against it?
He's
I
never
guess
gonna die.
Yeah. Well, for one, and second, I think also like I don't really. Yeah, I don't care. I just don't care like what's gonna happen. Like if they're all laughing or they're all like, "Oh my god, he looks terrible." Like,
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
not your
gonna
problem,
happen.
man.
yeah.
Like,
Like, what am I gonna do? Like, who am I gonna tell? Like,
What am I
man,
gonna
can you
tell?
believe? Hey, other ghosts, can you believe my family? Oh, you think that's bad? You go to my funeral.
I like the idea that ghosts gossip about how their loved one, how like they're living, are responding. Man,
Yeah,
I know my wife said she was really sad that I died, but I don't know. She's already dating again. It's only been 3 years.
with that electrician from last week, real quick.
Damn. All right, well, I was just curious. Good night, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Yeah,
Happy
good night.
Halloween.